information to help you run your business better and improve your marketing campaigns. My name is Hank Hoffmeyer, and thank you for joining me on Hank's Marketing and Business Tips. Hello, everybody. Today, I have with me Jonathan Orcutt. He is with Driven Landscapes Franchising. He is a landscape business owner and also offers franchise opportunities. I first met Jonathan on a Facebook group that we both belong to in regards to landscaping. I've owned a landscaping business for 14 years and also have other experience from high school. And I like to stay involved in communities and groups that really are passionate to me. And giving back to the landscape community is something I still want to do, and I've become engaged in a lot of the posts on Facebook. Jonathan is very active on this group, and he has come on today to give us some tips and ideas, not only being a small business owner, but maybe even towards a niche of landscaping. And if you're interested in starting a landscape business, Jonathan might be able to help you out. So welcome, Jonathan.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Hank. Definitely excited to be here, and hopefully I can share maybe a little bit of information with your audience that they might find beneficial. I'm excited to be here, and thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Great. So, Jonathan, tell us, where you're located and how long you've been in business, and maybe a little bit about why you got started.
So, I started my company in 2012. I was 26 years old. I always make the joke that I was an entrepreneur for 26 years without a business. It took about 8 years in the corporate world to realize that regardless of how well I did in the corporate world, I was unfulfilled. I wanted to be able to control my own destiny and answer to myself only. So fast forward in 2012, we started Driven Landscapes. The reason I started the landscape company was because I recognized an incredibly fragmented industry where there's a tremendous amount of potential revenue, $78 billion a year. But also recognize the fact that it's a little bit of the wild, wild west. There's $78 billion a year comprised of a lot of probably landscapers and not a whole lot of business owners, a lot of landscape technicians who decide to start a business as opposed to business owners who set out to build a landscape company. So when I started in 2012, I had zero expectations of developing a franchise program. My goal was to build a $1 million company before I died. And that was my number one goal. Starting the company in 2012, we almost hit $1 million in less than 4 years. And about 2 years into it, we realized we really had something special, not rocket science, but very good systems in marketing that lead to scalable and successful results. So within about 2 years of being in business, we started to think about, okay, how do we capture this success? How do we bottle catch this lightning in a bottle and share it with the rest of the country, the rest of the world? And after, doing a lot of research on, do we expand our corporate operations? Do we look into franchising? We chose franchising for a lot of reasons, but I would say the biggest reason we chose franchising is because my passion to work with business owners. I love working with employees. We have an incredible team of people with us, but my true passion is working with business owners. And the best way to grow your brand is through franchising and working with other business owners, helping them to achieve the success and even ideally more success than we've achieved in the corporate location. So that's kind of how we got into it and how we got into the franchise a little bit.
Well, first, kudos for, deciding to get out of corporate America and actually starting a business, making it successful. And as you were talking about your goal, I was going to ask you, where are you on that goal? But it sounds like you've already met that and you're going along well with that trajectory. Now, you're like me, what you want to do is provide value back to small business owners and people that want to become an entrepreneur. And a lot of people just, I think, hesitate to do that, to say, I'm going to leave my current job, as whatever it is, manager or, account manager, and then I'm going to start a business. What do you think was your success, or backing up, what drove you to make that decision? And what do you think really allowed you to feel like you were successful at one point, whether it was 1 or 2, 3 years in?
Good question. What we've accomplished here, I think we've accomplished good success in our corporate location, but from a professional standpoint, I think I don't think I've quite achieved the success that I'm really looking for. I think I forget who said it, but I think the saying is that the ultimate failure is success without accomplishment. And it's, I thought I would feel like, we had an incredible success when we hit $1 million, and I was going to, ride that out and just enjoy that, which is great. I don't want to sound like we don't appreciate what we've done, but I'm still not completely fulfilled, and I'm finding fulfillment in helping teach other business owners how to build their businesses. So we've definitely achieved success in our corporate location, but there's a bit more fulfillment that we're going for. And I believe the franchising is going to help bridge that gap between, coming full circle on developing our entire plan.
My thoughts on franchises are either somebody becomes a franchisee because they just want to just want to make more money, period.
Sure.
That's the end of the story. They don't care about quality. They don't care about helping other people. Then you get someone that's like you, where they say, I found success. I'm at a point where I feel like I can help others, and why not offer up my systems, my knowledge, my information to someone that can actually benefit from it and get them out of their corporate world, or maybe it's their first endeavor into business. There's not enough people like you to do that in the world, because I think the statement is true. There is enough business for everyone out there. And being in the landscaping business, every season I saw 10, 20, 30 new companies come out. Then a few of them are not there any longer. I think it's because they didn't really realize how much money they had to invest, or they didn't realize their overhead, whether it was gas, maintenance, trucks, licensing, etc. We won't even get into some of the folks in landscaping that don't get licensing or insurance, sure. But I understand the struggle there and why they do that. Hopefully somebody will do it maybe for a year or two and then decide to add that on. But it's great that you're doing that. When it comes to deciding that you want to start a franchise, what are some of the things that you think people should look at, whether it's positives and negatives, if they wanted to, say, start a landscaping franchise?
Yeah, absolutely. And before I get into that, I actually want to correct I think I misquoted the saying. What I was going for a couple minutes ago was success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. That's what I was going for. That I think I butchered a couple minutes ago. But anyways, so we've achieved success in our corporate location. But the real fulfillment for me and our team is really developing the national brand and bringing a professional name to the landscape industry nationwide. So anyways, that kind of clears up my thought from before. But actually, rephrase me. What was the question?
If somebody was thinking about opening a franchise, a franchise, what are some of the positives and negatives of that decision process? Like, what are some pitfalls or things I should look out for? And then what are the positive things? Like, why would I choose a franchise rather than starting up my own business? And if you want to use landscaping as an example, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'll use landscape obviously because that's what we know. But I think you're going to find that a lot of the benefits of a franchise program are going to be consistent in many different industries, whether it's the food industry, the home service industry, home health care, or whatever it may be. So one of the obvious ones that a lot of people hear right off the bat is buying power. Of course, being a national brand or being a franchise concept, we can market for less, we can purchase equipment for less, which is going to increase the margin. So that's great. But that's not really what I consider to be the number one benefit. I think the best benefit is the fact that you're getting a blueprint. You're getting a turnkey business that has everything mapped out in about a 300 or 400 page operations manual that's going to detail from day 1 to day 365 to day 720 and so on and so forth, of every detail of how to build and scale your business. And that blueprint right there is enough for a lot of people to go ahead and build their $1 million landscape, empire, whatever you want to call it. But beyond that, it's also ongoing consulting. You have a team, which currently is myself right now, behind you, helping you every step of the way, analyzing margins, predicting cash flow, help make marketing decisions, buying decisions, hiring. So the benefits really are, it's a turnkey business that you don't have to worry about reinventing the wheel. It's you start on day one and you just put the system to work, and the ramp up period is going to be much faster. You're going to be more successful than we were, faster and cheaper. So some of the cons, people say, well, those ongoing royalties. Well, of course, we have a 4% ongoing royalty, but our goal is to offset a lot of that royalty between the buying power and the amount of money that we're going to save. If I could have all the money back since 2012 that I spent in areas where, I don't want to call them bad areas, but areas that didn't produce the results that we wanted, I'd probably, have a little bit better of a bank account. So you're really we're shortening the learning curve. You get the benefit of everything that we did well, but just as importantly, everything that we did wrong, we're going to keep you from doing that. And I think that's in every franchise concept. I mean, there's a lot of incredible franchise concepts out there, and not everyone's a fan of the franchise concept, but if they didn't work, they wouldn't be there.
That's right.
And I'm sure there's some franchise concepts out there that maybe don't have great training and support and so on and so forth. That's certainly not us. We're going to build our franchise on support and training. But there's a lot of perks to it. And the biggest one is it gets you to where you want to be a heck of a lot faster.
Maybe I think we're going to coin a new phrase here, you and I together. I just thought of it. You're going to get the 3 M's. You're going to get the manual on how to run your business. You're going to get the mentorship to make sure you succeed, and you're going to get the money power that comes along with a larger business.
I like that. The 3 M's. I might put that on the website.
There you go. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I think the mentorship is the biggest thing. I mean, I'm actually personally working with a mentor right now who's been in the franchise industry for probably actually since he was in college, and he works for a very well-known franchisor, and he's just helping me, mentoring me, because it's all about it's about giving back. Once you achieve a certain level of success, I believe that true entrepreneurs, they want to give back. Of course, you want to make a business out of everything. You want to make money. You want to continue to provide opportunities and grow your brand. But there's a different sense of accomplishment when you're able to give something back and share success with others.
I want to look this up. You hit something that I really believe in. And I don't know if you ever read the book Greater Than Yourself.
I have not.
So it's by Steve Farber, and I should have that memorized by now. It's called Greater Than Yourself. And really, it's kind of a story about someone who looks for somebody that could be their mentor, that's better than them. And then also talks about paying it forward and having somebody that's your GTY project or somebody you're going to mentor. And throughout the book, he talks about both of those aspects. And that's something I believe in, is creating a strong network of people that are better than you so you could learn and grow and become more successful, and then in turn you should pay it forward and help someone else that's not where you need to be. It's a great book. Actually, it's in the latest newsletter. So I definitely recommend that to you and to folks that are listening.
Yeah, I'll put that on my list. I forget who said it, but somebody said you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time around.
Right. Yeah. If you hang around 4 broke people, you're going to be the 5th.
There we go. So choose your social network wisely, and always try and level up and learn something. And that's what it's about. It's being a student of life and trying to constantly learn.
Right. So being in landscape, we know how there are days where it can be hot, it can be cold, there's weather, there's headaches, things break down. What drives you, keeps you going every day?
Wow, that's great. I like what you did there with driven landscapes. What drives me every day? Family first and foremost. I have 10-month or approaching 10-month-old daughter, Riley, and a 6.5-month chocolate lab, 80 pounds, Charlie, and beautiful wife, Jill. And being able to provide, for them is definitely an incredible feeling. And, it seems like the more you're able to scale a business, the more you're able to operate the business remotely. Having a young daughter, being able to spend more time at home, more time with her is phenomenal. So definitely family, but also that internal entrepreneurial desire. I have a burning desire inside of me that I just, never, where you never feel completely satisfied with what you've accomplished. You appreciate everything you've done, but you want to keep doing more. It becomes a game, a challenge, and you want to keep kind of pushing the boundaries and seeing, how much you can accomplish and how many people's lives you can affect, in a positive way. So I'd say family and an internal drive that keeps me moving.
I have to agree with you on the family part. It's definitely something that should drive everybody. And by the way, my daughter's name is Riley, and she's 9 years old. So we have that in common.
Small world.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool.
Yeah, well, what I want to do is wrap it up. I think you provided some great information. What I'd like to do is see if there is anything that you'd like to say in closing, then also let folks know how to reach you, especially if they're interested in franchising a landscaping business. How would they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one cool thing is, even if you're not in the landscape business, we're not only looking for conversions, we're actually looking for business professionals that may have no landscape experience whatsoever, to learn the business and build it. And actually, there's a lot of reasons why somebody who's not experienced in the landscape industry would actually make a better owner than somebody who may have some bad habits we have to break. But anyways, yeah, we can be reached at www.dlfranchises.com. Or you can look us up on Facebook, Driven Landscapes. You can message us on there, and look forward to hearing from hopefully some people.
Great. I'll have some of those links in the show notes on my website. And if you want to listen to previous episodes, you can go to hankhoffmeyer.com/Alexa. We are on iTunes, Google Play, 60dB, and other channels as well. And like I said, you can always go back to the website. It's also on YouTube, so check us out there and subscribe if you have not. But Jonathan, it's been a pleasure to have you on. It was great to walk down memory lane in regards to landscaping. And I sold my business about a year ago, but that fresh smell of grass is never going to leave my memory.
Oh yeah, every spring it's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
It is. It's great. I had to drive down, like this spring I was driving down the road and so I saw somebody cutting their lawn and I just rolled down the window and I just sucked it in. It was like a drug,
Did you stop and give them a hand for a little bit?
No, I'm done with that. I still have some commercial equipment I use to cut my 1 acre, but that's about as far as I'm going to go.
That's far enough.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure having you on.
All right. Thanks a lot, Hank.
No problem.